Today's video is brought to you by ablmerch.com. Use promo code 1776 to get 20% off your next order. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the FDA banning menthol flavor from cigarettes. Not the cigarettes themselves. You used to be able to get your cigarettes and do whatever you got to do, but eventually, years down the line, they're going to ban the menthol flavor. Now, right when I saw that headline, I knew that it was racially motivated. Now, you may be asking yourself, hey, ABL, why would you assume that the FDA are racially motivated and that they're woke? Well, I mean, I've just been paying attention. I understand how these things go. They're going to say menthol flavor, then Newports, and then link it to a certain race. And if you know, like I know, you already know where I'm going with it. Now, there's a lot to quote unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say. So let's jump straight into it, shall we? The article reads, the Food and Drug Administration appears likely to move to ban menthol cigarettes this week, a step experts say that has been years in the making, and that could have a significant positive impact on the health of Black Americans. Let's pause right there. Let's stop the show, as my man O'Shea Duke Jackson would say. Let's stop it right here. So you want to link menthol flavor to Newports to Black folks. It's a stereotype. You know, everybody black, all the black guys on the street corner smoke Newport cigarettes. Like nobody else smokes Newports aside from Black folks, and that there's no other cigarettes that have the menthol flavor in it. And nobody of any other race smokes cigarettes that have menthol. And like I was saying, menthol is a flavor. It's not some kind of addictive substance, really. It's just a flavor. That's it. Okay, the actual cigarettes are the problem, not the menthol. I wonder what they're going to ban next. Is it going to be 40-ounce malt liquor? You know, are they going to bring, guys from the past in these commercials, Billy D. Williams talking about don't drink no more? But I digress. The FDA's decision would not ban it immediately, but it'd be some years. Quote, the winds are definitely in our favor, said Del Monte Jefferson, executive director of the Center for Black Health and Equity, citing both the decades of data that show that the cooling flavor in cigarettes makes it easier to start smoking, combined with the current cultural momentum toward improving the lives of Black Americans. Now, let's pause again. Okay, you want to improve the lives of Black Americans, right? I think this is totally bogus, because what are some of the actual problems that we face as Americans, but also specifically as Black Americans? Number one, they're talking about police brutality. That's a public health issue. Well, how about that black on black crime? How about that? Okay, 13% of the population, half of all the murderers, meaning the killers, and half of the murder victims, meaning those that are killed. Okay, we kill each other at a very, very high rate. That's number one. Number two, how about that obesity? That's a serious problem. Serious. Okay, heart disease, diabetes, all that stuff, that's a problem. So you're talking about menthol flavored cigarettes. And then if you want to focus on drugs exclusively, okay, you got a wide open southern border right now. It's completely open. You're letting all kind of drugs in right now. And that fentanyl is affecting Black folks. Yes, it is. They want to say that's some kind of hillbilly, redneck, white folk problem. Yes, they have a problem with it for sure, obviously. But it also affects us. You can see people nodding off in the street, Black folks now, in Baltimore, Philly, DC, Atlanta, Florida, LA, Seattle, everywhere. All right. So it's not just the race thing here is just ridiculous. And it's just pointing towards a more woke government and woke little NGOs like this. But I'll move on. You know, my uncle, my dad's oldest brother, he died when I was a little boy. He was like my age right now when he died. And he smoked Newports too, but it wasn't the Newports that killed him. It was the heroin use that did it. But I digress. We continue. When inhaled, menthol produces a cooling sensation in the throat, reducing the harsh taste of cigarettes and the irritation of nicotine. The vast majority of Black smokers, 85%, use menthol cigarettes. Now, pause again. Okay, you say the vast majority of Black smokers use menthol. Well, how many white smokers use menthol? How many Hispanics? How many everybody else? Why is it just one set of data put forward to prove your point and not the total picture? And black men and women are much less likely than white Americans to be diagnosed with lung cancer at an earlier, potentially more treatable age. Black men have the highest lung cancer death rate in the country. Now, is that because we're not getting checked? We're not going to the doctor? What's going on with that? What's the reason for that? Let's not just put out these numbers without giving the reason for why that could be so. Quote, when you combine high rates of smoking with systematic racism in the healthcare systems, you have a tremendous health disparity, said Erica Sward, National Assistant Vice President for Advocacy at the American Lung Association. Both the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the National Institutes of Health recently announced plans to address structural racism in healthcare. So, are we talking about menthol-flavored cigarettes? We're talking about these Newports right here that are right on your screen, which I knew they were used already because that's what they say. Black folks and Newports, a stereotype. Are you going to sit there and tell me that menthol cigarettes, Newports are racist? Is that what we're saying? I'm getting triggered, so I'll move right along. The FDA faces a Thursday court order deadline to respond to a citizen petition sent to the agency 2013, blah, 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 some lawsuits. It's possible a decision could come earlier than Thursday. So they're just talking about, when it could happen. And they're not talking about banning vape pens or other tobacco products. Now, other tobacco products, what could we be talking about? I'm not really sure if chewing tobacco has menthol in it. I never chewed it before. If you guys do, let me know in the comments. But if we're talking about things that affect certain demographics of people more than others, why not attack that chewing tobacco? Every other day back in the day, I would see a commercial of a guy with half his jaw missing talking about don't chew tobacco because it messed my tongue up, messed my jaw up. You had guys with meth mouth back then from chewing tobacco. So that affects a lot of white Americans. So why isn't that a thing you want to attack? But you want to attack menthol cigarettes. Is it really about health, or is it about trying to appear to be woke? Is it about meeting certain little guidelines for eliminating racial disparities in the healthcare system? Is it about just trying to do that because you got an ordinance to do so? I'll move on. The FDA was poised to ban menthol flavor in 2018 under the leadership of then Commissioner Scott Gottlieb, but failed to follow through. Gottlieb did not respond to requests for comment. Some advocates of a menthol ban say national focus on Black Lives Matter movement may spur the agency to take action now. So you heard that right. We're going to ban Newports because Black Lives Matter. Although black folks are not the majority of those that smoke menthol cigarettes. Now, here is what I really wanted to get to close it on up. And again, I will place this article in the description box. From our findings, we estimate that banning menthol cigarettes in the U.S. would lead an additional 923,000 smokers to quit, including 230,000 African-American smokers. Let's pause. So I'm not Albert Einstein. I'm not Elon Musk or any of these big brain guys, but that's almost 1 million smokers that could quit by banning menthol. But only 250,000 of those are black. So you're talking about 1/4 of the people that you think may quit. 3/4 are not black. How many of that 3/4 are white or Hispanic or something else or native? A lot of natives smoke Newports and menthol cigarettes in general as well. So why is it just focus on black folks? Is it because you're trying to be woke and trying to push forward this image of trying to quote unquote cure racism in the healthcare industry? All right, so there was a lot there. I mean, this whole thing is so silly, so dumb. It's just low hanging fruit, trying to be woke, trying to get woke points. It's not really going to help the health problem. You're talking about cigarettes. That ain't the problem right now among black folks. Really, like I said, the homicide rates through the roof. Then you have obesity. When you're talking about drugs, you got these pills that are flooding the market. Okay, the fentanyl is off the chain right now. Just general heroin use has been a problem for a long time. Crack cocaine is still a problem right now. That's the actual issue. Now, some of you guys may be more libertarian minded and say, hey, let's legalize all drugs. But the problem actually is that you have too many legal drugs on the market. Fentanyl is a legal drug. It's not illegal. It's legal. Fentanyl is legal. The problem is that fentanyl is sold on the street illegally outside of the legal channels. It's like alcohol. Alcohol is legal, but if you buy it in the shot house or some kind of janky spot like that, then it's illegal. You might go to jail for running a shot house because you're not doing things right. Moonshine and stuff like that may be illegal where you live. Just like fentanyl on the street sold beyond the legal boundaries is illegal. That's the actual problem. There's too many drugs in society. They're letting big pharma just run rampant, experimental, quote unquote, vaccines, synthetic opioids, and they're leaving the southern border open. So you're getting all kind of synthetic opioids. You're getting all kind of laced regular drugs. You're getting all kind of problems that come from China, Southeast Asia, Mexico, into our country. We're not trying to stop that, but let's ban menthol flavored cigarettes. We're going to do that. Okay, that'll help Black Americans a whole lot right there. You know, operating on the stereotype of Black folks will help them tremendously. But as I close, I want to say this. This article was an example of how woke the government can be, and it's also an example of how ineffective they can be. Rather than just plugging the southern border up and preventing all these illegal, crazy, counterfeit drugs from coming in, you want to ban menthol? That's so dumb. That's not even really the problem right now. You want to address things that aren't even issues. Nobody who asked for this, aside from these NGO groups that make money by asking for these things. Out there in the actual community, out there in the world, this is a non-issue. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about banning menthol? Are you for it, against it? Are there bigger fish to fry? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know my thoughts on the whole situation. I think it's kind of silly. I think it's kind of bogus. And there are most certainly bigger fish to fry. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.